Hello everyone, it's Dom here from Esports News UK at ESL One Birmingham Resorts World Arena. I'm joined by Brendon Leigh. Thanks for joining me, Brendon. One of the first sim racers.
Oh, you're going to leave me hanging?
No, I wouldn't leave you hanging. And you were one of the first F1 Esports Series winners, right? The first, I think. Back in, was it 2017?
Well, I need to get my walking stick, but it was in 2017, 2018. I won the championships, and it feels like such a long time ago. I even remember coming back to the NEC in early 2018 to come to the Auto Sports show and to pick up an esports award then. So even coming back here like yesterday, I was like, wow, okay, this is brings back memories, but makes me feel grey hair already.
You're not as old as me, right?
No, you're 24.
At least you've got hair.
You're 24, surely.
24, in spirit. So you're at ESL One Birmingham. I mean, you used to be at Ferrari for a bit. Now you're at R8G. You joined last year. Tell us a bit about what you've been doing with R8G.
Yeah, basically been working with R8G. Of course, they're an agency that loans me out effectively to Sauber, and then we're racing with Cooke Formula One team for this year. But yeah, basically been working, developing myself as a driver, and just trying to be my best self on track and off track as well. Coming here, of course, we're partnered with Predator to be providing me the monitor, the PC, the equipment at home, and doing some coaching event right here today.
Yeah, shout out to Predator because they've supported Esports News UK a lot over the years. We've got branded t-shirts. And before we go into the sim racing stuff, you're here, we're at a Dota event. There's some Predator laptops and monitors, PCs with Dota on them. Have you had many Dota players coming up and playing the sim racing as well? What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been actually really busy, to be honest. I've been here yesterday and today, so the Friday and the Saturday. And yeah, people have been coming in, trying the simulator. Some people more successfully than others, and but ultimately giving the coaching session and really giving them a glimpse of our world. And ultimately, I haven't had the chance to speak to professional Dota players who are playing in the tournament this weekend so far, but ultimately seeing a bit of a passion for the other side of esports has been, to be honest, pretty cool. I think, of course, with Formula One esports, it's very nice to see the racing side, but let's say more traditionally in a loose context and a loose quotation, this is more traditional esports, let's say. So I think it's really nice to see this side of the world as well.
And we mentioned off camera before we started this, what to talk about. Sim racing has evolved quite a bit. Sim racing reminds me of the fighting game community in that it sort of sits outside of traditional esports in a way, and it tends to be, if you're a fan of driving and you're a petrol head, you're going to like sim racing. How's it sort of changed as one of the first UK top sim racers that won that first F1 Esports Series to doing what you're doing now? How have you seen it sort of change?
I think, to be honest, the scene in motorsport esports has not really changed too much as a core fundamental. Of course, we've grown, we've got bigger, and of course, as we grow and we get bigger, more people come attracted, and many people from different walks of life become more and more knowledgeable and aware of what we're doing. So I think as a core principle and a core industry, we haven't changed in the motorsport esports, but we're becoming bigger, and that's allowing more people to get vision and eyes and influence and attention onto what we're doing.
And speaking of that increased attention, ESL R1 is going to be a part of the Esports World Cup this year. Will you be taking part in that, or you looking forward to that?
That's still for me to be decided, because ultimately my core fundamental is the Formula One Esports World Championship.
Yeah, it's a different game, isn't it, R1?
Yeah, different game. And of course, R1, Rensport are doing a really, to be honest, cool job. I think they're doing a really great job in influencing and growing the industry, at least from what I can see. R8G as a team will be participating. I've got one of my teammates here, Marcel Chinchik, who was able to win the ESL World Championship for the R1 a few years ago. So I'm sure he'll be up there. I'm sure he'll be looking to take home some nice points and prizes along the way. But yeah, even if I'm not there with R8G, I'm sure they'll be doing a good job.
So you're a world champion. Is that from the F1 Esports Series? And, are there other sort of memories and standout moments you've had in your career? Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, the most standout thing when I think about it is human growth. I think, yes, I can sit and say, a win, a race win, a podium, a pole position, or some statistics what will just be in a book someday. But ultimately, something that I'm probably the most proud of in my own opinion is the human growth factor of what I've been able to do. And yeah, I'm fortunate to do a job that I love, and I'm fortunate to live a life that I'm able to enjoy. And for that, I think is the biggest prize of all, to be honest.
It is to do what you enjoy. The fact that we have an ecosystem now, pro players in esports like yourselves, journalists like myself, it's amazing to be a part of that. Yeah. Something I wanted to ask you about, more of a fun or silly question. Your manager said beforehand, ask Brendon, ask R8G, why are sim racers difficult?
Yeah, I mean, I know I can be difficult because, I don't know, people can have their own perception. Maybe I'm a nice guy away from the driving, but I can be, I can't say the words on the camera, but I can be a bit more straight to my point when I'm driving.
Do you think that's to do with, like, there's intricacies obviously in sim racing and other top level esports? Yeah. And would you say you're a perfectionist, or sim racers are perfectionists in general?
I think everyone who's at the top of their industry is a perfectionist, whether that's an accountant, lawyer, doctor, sim racer, Dota player, whatever the discipline is. I think we're at the top of our level, and we naturally are a perfectionist to get there. I don't think it's, let's say, stuck with just sim racing, or sim racers are, let's say, in a bit of a worse mood when we're driving. I think it's unique because we have a way to talk when we're performing, and I don't think many other people have that, and have multiple engineers and multiple people who are involved in your journey of getting a result. Of course, I think in Dota they have the coach what stays behind and is connected in the radio with them, but you're connected to one person and directly to your teammates. In sim racing, I'm directly connected to my engineer in the race, so it's like having a twin attached to my hip, effectively. And I have a relationship with my engineers. I say, look, I'm open, I'm honest. Away from the driving, yeah, we can hang out, we can talk, we can chill, talk life. But ultimately, when we go to work, we go to work. And I wouldn't expect any less than a team to expect wins of me, because that's how I sign my contracts, that's how I do my business, is I want to win, I want to be my best, and I want to be the best in the world. And naturally that reflects back in the team. And I think when both people, myself and the team, are on a aligned path of just, we both expect each other to win, can make tension, but ultimately it's healthy tension. Yeah.
It's similar to the real world track, isn't it? Yeah. You know, when you've got a pro driver, Hamilton, sometimes it is a bit fiery talking. Yeah. These frustrations do spill out onto the comms. Yeah,
completely. And well, I've done a lot of research into it, and it's mainly to do with the frontal cortex of the brain, because that's the part of the brain that is controlling your instinct reactions. And basically you see people who are let's say under the influence, and they do stuff that they wouldn't normally do. That's because the frontal cortex of the brain has more control over the body and your mind when you're, let's say, drunk or something else like this. When I'm driving, of course I'm not under any influences, but I'm so focused on what I need to do the perfect job possible, that all of my subconscious is already filled with driving. So all what my voice and my words and my vocabulary is coming from is my frontal cortex of the brain, what is effectively my fight or flight.
Yeah.
So in that moment, unless it's completely useful to my ability to fight or flight or win that race, the frontal cortex of the brain is always going to react in a sharper way.
Yeah, that's really interesting. But is there anything else you'd like to add? Do you play any other games or esports games, or I guess you don't get time?
At the moment, I don't really get time, to be honest. I used to be a lot of a gamer. I used to play, let's say, like a FIFA. I used to play Call of Duty and all of these things. But then, to be honest, once I became professional with F1 Esports, I stopped playing games. Generally, I like games, but the thing is, for me, I'm spending in my on-season 10, 12 hours a day training. So when I'm away from my computer, I enjoy it. If I wasn't doing my job professionally, I think for sure I would be playing some more games to enjoy, but right now, to be honest, no.
Well, Brendon, it's been a really good chat.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything that's going on and up and coming. And thank you for your time.
No, thank you so much as well. Pleasure.